Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 where we have LSU playing against Washington State. I'm excited for it. I know Door's excited for it. And I just, after that last game, I'm so hype.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, Kevin. Is coming up LSU versus Washington State University. Washington State look better than I think I've ever seen them. We talked about it during the break. They look incredible right now. But LSU is going to be the real task. They weren't able to close it out against Illinois, but they're on an upward trend.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? They've just had a good game. It carried them some momentum. Although they didn't win that game overall, they should find themselves in a fairly positive place, right? Because they took Illinois and almost managed to sweep them back.
And just a heads up to viewers, Washington State will actually be on the orange side this match. So if you're rooting for the blue team last game, you're rooting for the orange team now as the players are just getting started to load in.
Yeah, now they are all connecting. Of course, on LSU, we have Reverb, Sharp, and T-Bates.
And on the Washington side, the familiar faces of B900, Jay Formez, and Don Q Mojito lining up, though, immediately putting on the pressure now. LSU laying one into the Washington half, but Washington not done yet. B900 is up for the rebound. James is up. Reaver barely making the save. Yeah,
and now once again, this is the thing, right? Both of these teams have just played their games. I believe LSU 3-0'd their opposition, which was Hoya Esports, of course, Georgetown. So they're one team coming off of a win, one team coming off of a loss, and I think LSU is yet to lose a series.
LSU is yet to drop a series, is yet to drop a game even so far, undefeated now. I don't think they want to lose that one quite yet, but Washington's going to do their best. Setting up the shot, though, Reaver will get stopped. James there to put it out. It's forcing it into the corner now. It's going to be some slow play from LSU as they just get ready for the clear here. Giving possession back over to Washington.
Yeah, now once again, all right, a bit of a touch and go situation there. James managing to run it down, though, finds the breakaway, looking for that corner possession. T-Bates on top of him. Demolition from Reverb onto B900. Cool. Sharp here with the touch, but James getting it over Reverb, now carrying the momentum, not letting them stop this opportunity. It's a shot, but it isn't quite made.
And it's the possession here from LSU that's kind of letting them down. They want to play this aerial game. They want to just out-mechanic Washington, but Washington have had that warm-up from last game that their team play really evolved over the course of the entire game, and so it's really allowing them to hold on here.
Yeah, and now once again, coming back and forth into the corner. It's looking a bit dicey for Washington State, but they managed to find the clear.
LSU's up, though. Down one member, though, on the offense. The clear will be had. James looking for the double touch, not going to get it. B900, though, there for the clear. Nice little block by Reaver, who's going to play it back to the center for his teammate. A whiff by Don Q Mojito could be the opening that LSU need. Now playing it back into half. It's 3 versus 2. You can play the ball to the center. Reaver looking for another cross. Not quite anybody to be in yet, though. LSU cranking up the pressure a bit. Washington might crack.
Once again, here we go, looking for it. This is an opportunity coming out for LSU, but once again, we're dead even.
And James has looked fantastic. All these 50-50s is going to matter because he puts one in. James putting Washington State up, starting the upset.
Yeah, and like you said, starting the upset indeed. I mean, there we go. Washington State getting ahead here is not something that people expected.
LSU showing the chinks in their armor, and that's exactly what we saw when Washington State started to see Illinois. Those chinks in the armor, they show that they can bleed. They see the holes. And James trying the 50-50. Oh my god, it's going up, and it's barely safe by Don Q Mojito. The high ball almost going in.
Yeah, no, that was looking incredibly close, but now half time is just being hit here, and Washington State are in the lead. It's one of those things.
Yeah, we've been playing for 2.5 minutes right now. This has been high-octane gameplay right now, because these teams have just been non-stop.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's literally been no stopping at all. It's been so back and forth. There's not been a moment of downtime. As once again here, we're going to be seeing them setting up another play. James with a good touch tries to set it up. Teammates going to be able to clear it away, but we see B900 cool in that defensive position. James with the rebound passes to B900. Was this all a setup to Don Q Mojito? James with a fake away.
Barely not there for it, but an incredible pass. That's not something that's easy to do, playing it directly in the middle like that. But now Washington forced back, but they're not quite there, evening it up. T-Bates from across the field lobs one over.
Yeah, there we go. It finally gets put in for LSU. I think this is what people were expecting, right? They managed to find the angle, and 151 still even though, right? Is still, I don't think, again, what anybody really expected to come out of this.
Yeah, and I gotta hand it to T-Bates there. In the industry, that's what we call a doink. Just a nice little bounce to lay it over and in. Truly nice little bit of form there. Now Reverb laying it up for his teammate though. Donkey Mojito not letting another one past him. Decides to clear it out.
Once again, LSU putting on the pressure. Reverb with a tap. He's going to set it up. He's going to be able to get the follow through and find goal number 2.
A nice double touch from Reverb, playing it off the back to himself here. And this is something that you just see with the mechanics, the level of LSU putting themselves in those positions. You see Washington State, they're having to make these goals off passes, off counterattacks. But the threat that LSU has is they can just create goals from anywhere.
Yeah, and I think that's the horrifying reality, right? Is LSU really, really good coordinated team. They play extremely well, and they're going to be able to put another one in.
Again, that coordination, just like you talked about. We saw 2 players here playing wide for Washington State, getting a little bit lost in the sauce, if you will, and then Reverb just able to take the open space that's in the middle of the field and abuse it.
Yeah, and now coming in to kick off a number 4. I mean, it really, really does seem that LSU is putting in a lot of the pressure and managed to make a lot of it work. James here running it down, but Reverb's going to get a nice easy clear, get it to his teammate. B900 Cool was on top of him, but I don't know if that was enough.
And the longer this goes, the more confidence Washington are going to lose. Reverb looking to put one in, but doesn't quite get the angle that he wants. Sharp's going to be there. James is in goal to try and save it, but it's getting less and less. The defense here for Washington, less and less available. But James is there, finally going to clear it out. And now setting up Sharp, trying to clear this ball for his team, but it's stuck in midfield right now. Reverb will be the man to break the silence. Laying it into center. B900, though, is there for the clear. Is going to be now on the back foot. 2 demos for the side of Washington. Will give them a massive bit of possession here, and they have all the boosts they can need to take advantage of it. James lays it off the backboard, but there's nobody there to finish, as it will be LSU clearing it out.
Once again, LSU in a good position. They're going to be 2 goals up, 20 seconds left onto the clock. Some pressure was being made there, but instantly cleared away. I mean, at the moment, I don't even know what to say. What do you do in Washington State's situation?
You just have to turn it back up. They had the momentum going in. They had it from the last game. They had the confidence as well, and it looks like they're just starting to lose it after those first 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, now coming out. All right, 1 second left. That is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 going to LSU, still not dropping a single round.
And Washington showing up pretty surprisingly. LSU taking the win is nothing we didn't expect to see coming, but I think Washington showing that they do have something to say in this series and whether or not it ends in their favor.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes down to James. Look at those 5 shots. Of course, only getting 1 goal in, so a 20% shot accuracy. But overall, like, that's a lot of pressure to be putting on, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, we're lucky enough to be experiencing this level of Rocket League today, because it feels like all of these teams so far have just completely turned up for this and are giving their absolute best. LSU really impressing me in the second half of that game, but Washington State all day has been playing their hearts out.
Yeah, and now once again, going into game number 2, Dor. Well, what do you think we'll expect? Do you think Washington State will be able to gain some more ground? Or do you think LSU is just going to continue their steamroll?
I mean, we saw them do it in the Illinois game. They really started to turn the momentum around. The question is, will they be able to figure out what's going to break LSU here? It was the pressure, it was the confidence that they were able to put up. But how can you just instantly regain that? It's not something you could say, oh, we need to speed up our rotations. We need to make sure we have more people back on defense. It's really just a confidence. It's I'm going to go for this ball. It's a split-second decision thing.
Yeah, and I think you're completely you hit the ball in the goal, right? You really, like, it is a split-second decision thing, and it's difficult to analyze exactly when you're going to make those calls because it is more of a feel than a know.
Yeah, it's a game sense thing, it's an experience thing, but as we get into the second game, it's all on Washington State to try and even this one up, and they get the kickoff they might not be wanting.
Yeah, once again, Donkey Mojito here, B900 Cool, setting up the old 1-2 like they have been successfully doing. For the last little while, it's worked out for them. James in defensive again, challenges, wins that challenge. The demo comes out, and we actually saw B900 Cool going for the commitment there, trying to get it once the goalkeeper was taken out.
But that's great. That's the commitment you need to see from Washington State if you want to close the gap like this. Donkey Mojito laying it up here in dangerous territory. And all of a sudden, 2 players here for Washington are extremely low on boost for the next 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, no, once again, James getting 1 touch, looking for the second touch. Gets contested by T-Bates. Over to Reverb. Reverb to Sharp. Sharp with the clear. That's going to go in. Oh, it hits the crossbar.
Oh, it's not quite.
Oh my goodness, teammates manages to put it in there. That was, whew.
Oh, poor Broccoli. That's so Broccoli. B900 sitting right inside the goal. The flip's not quite enough, but T900, they're the destroyer of dreams, just gonna crush it back into the net.
Yeah, no, that really worked out for them. Managing to finally put it in, it was looking extremely concerning. But now that they've managed to do it, they are leading ahead 1 goal coming into the first minute.
All right, now clearing it out. Washington State just trying to stabilize this point, but stabilizing is not going to win you this game.
Again, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Stabilization, it's great to do, but if you can't continue to find some pressure, it's not going to get you anywhere.
All just seeming stuck in the middle of the field here. We know LSU is a threat, and teammates drops it down. His team is not quite there, though. Donkey Mojito using a lot of boosts to try and gain some control. James there trying to rip one towards the net, but it's going to be LSU. Just going to put a stop to that one quickly.
Yeah, again, the pressure, good clear. Coming out here, Donkey Mojito's on it, but he just overestimated where that ball was going to go, but he finds it.
A scrappy goal, but a goal nonetheless here for Washington State University as they even up the game 1-1 here. I'm very confused as to what happened. It comes up, goes down, but 3 players go at it, just heading in towards the goal. 2 players from Washington State managing to get something onto that ball.
Yeah, and now coming into the kickoff once again. Just straight up. Okay, a bit of a back and forth. The pinch attempt coming out from Rebound and teammates. That was really, really nice. But the pressure's still being put on by Washington State onto LSU.
I like this from James. You can kind of tell that he's starting to feel himself. He's starting to twist around in the air a little. He's starting to go for these air dribbles, but the ball heading towards the net might put an end to that. That's a scary one if you're James. He's there for another clear, getting bumped away, but it's going to be just enough to get it out. B900, last man left here. Get it out of his half, and he's going to succeed in it.
Yeah, now, again, here, a good opportunity coming out. Stolen away. It's set up for Donkey Mojito, but Reverb's going to be able to grab the ball. Right, bit of a slow play there, trying to outpace them. I think, like you said, right now stabilizing is important, because if they let LSU find this goal, which they aren't so far, no, Reverb's going to put it in.
And that's going to put a stop to any momentum Washington State was getting there. Any sort of semblance of stabilization is now gone. But you have to be able to hold on. You have to be resilient, especially since you have a whole day of games ahead of you.
Now coming in, we are on to kickoff number 4, Door. I mean, at the moment, LSU are pulling ahead, right? But Washington State is really holding their ground.
It's surprisingly low score counts as James with a nice challenge. He's going to set Donkey Mojito up. Not quite there for the finish. B900 going to tap it right back into the half, but it's in LSU control right now. 2 players going up for that. That's a huge overcommit. It's a massive opening. James there to dump it towards the goal, but teammates there for the save. Back into the middle now. LSU still not quite in position. Donkey Mojito has the rebound, but it's not towards the net. Now the pressure on for Washington. They could find a finish here. James puts it in.
Yeah, and that's going to tie up 2-2 at exactly 2 minutes. I mean, again, this is so back and forth. If you had asked me like 20 minutes ago who was going to win, I was going to say LSU were going to 3-0, but really, I'm not sure.
James with these challenges has been incredible. He's winning 50-50s left and right, off the roof even there. Fantastic goal from him, and this is what I'm talking about. This is that aggression, that confidence. We see James just chasing this ball. He's so sure he's going to win it at some point here.
Again, so much back and forth. A good tap coming out from T-Base there. Managing to get the clear over one back to Sharp. Sharp with a touch. Reverb thinking that touch was going to go a little bit further. Kind of dropped it. B900 cool with a good bounce coming out into that corner, but nobody to follow it up. James getting the touch. It's going to go straight down. T-Base with the clear.
And now we're seeing LSU under pressure here, but a demo will take one man out of the equation. The ball's up for T-Base. Doesn't have the angle on it, though, that he needs to put it in. Donkey Mojito trying to play it out, but it's dead center of the field, and Sharp's going to take it.
Goodness, and there we go. LSU once again pulling that lead. It's one of those things where they get an inch, or you give them an inch, they take a mile, right? And they've really, really shown that progress.
Yeah, I don't think it was LSU really putting on too much pressure there. It really just felt like Washington cracked, overcommitting 2 members towards that corner, applying a bit too much priority to that ball that forces you to make plays like that, just like we saw in the Illinois game.
Yeah, and now coming out, a minute left onto the clock. We've seen Washington State this entire... Oh my goodness, they're going to. There you go.
B900 standing up top, fantastic pass from James, and look how he just lays it in the back corner.
Yeah, he finally just gets it in, and that's going to be that. 3-3, a minute 10 left in the clock.
I can tell you that is not an easy shot. I've practiced many a time to do something like that, but he hits it so consistently. Now Donkey Mojito's up. He has the availability, but Sharp's just going to clear it out.
Yeah, again, the bounce coming out, going to James. James to T-Bates. T-Bates trying to contest it. Doesn't quite clear it away as much as he wanted to, but Sharp's going to be there to pick it up, get that position over to Reverbs. The clear from Donkey Mojito was exactly what his team needed.
James now set up off the wall, winning 50-50s twice in a row now. And B900's up for the shot. Would have gone off the crossbar, but T-Bates is going to get the clear. Donkey Mojito, a little bit of an unfortunate little bobble with his teammate. Sharp with the 1v1. Taps it, but James, an incredible save, not going to be faked out today.
Again, the tap here over to Sharp. Reverb's looking for it, finds the touch, cleared from B900.
That defense started to look shaky from Washington, but they finally get the ball out. Now the pressure on LSU, 2 members back versus 2 members of Washington. Trying to apply the pressure. Donkey Mojito, though, wants to slow this game down.
Now, once again, Donkey here getting the tap. Good pinch coming out by James. Looking for it. 5 seconds left onto the clock. I can't believe this, but we might be going to overtime.
And ball's not done yet. B900 is going to play it off the corner. Go center! And it hits the ground. Barely playing it out will be LSU.
Again, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're into overtime, and this is quite important because LSU are completely undefeated. They haven't dropped a single round. So Washington State may be a bit of a kingmaker here and shut them down.
A good clear. Now James has a 1v1 versus Reaver. Reaver buying his team a little bit of time there with the touch. But like you said, LSU losing a single game here is pretty huge for them.
Yeah, they've been playing for 4 weeks here, and it's not going to happen as they manage to put it in, giving them game number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Up 2-0 now. LSU looking strong. Washington is just so close to pulling it off, so close, just like they were in the Illinois game. They just have to close those little gaps, those little mistakes that are causing them to go down.
Yeah, and now coming over, we take a look at this. Of course, now Sharp with the 5 shots, right? What we can see is Washington State are doing absolutely phenomenal on the defensive side. And even Sharp with those 5 shots, they only scored 1 goal, right? And if we look over the saves, Washington only has 3, like, registered saves. So it goes to show that these shots aren't nearly as close as you'd expect from LSU.
No, and unlike the first game, Washington State finding their shots and putting them in the net. It's been off counterattacks mostly, though. It's been balls cleared past the half. There hasn't really been any sort of possession out of Washington getting it past the halfway mark. But when they do get it past there with 1-2 players, getting themselves into like a man advantage, they're able to close it out.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to for Washington State, right, is playing smart and kind of outmaneuvering their opposition and baiting them, right? That redirect that we saw coming out from, I believe, B900 Cool for that tie-up goal was what we need to be seeing coming out of this team.
Now we're kicking it off, getting into game 3. James wins the kickoff, and it sets up teammates. He's got the air dribble. He's trying to put it in over B900, and the save comes out just barely. Close one, though.
It's definitely one of those things where it's always dicey when they have the air dribble, right? Because if you can't contest it, they will just drop it in.
It's always a threat, too, because you don't want to be the guy who gets styled on. But Reverb, he's free, and the demo out of Sharp sets him up for the easy goal.
Yeah, I think he did a good job highlighting this, right? The demolition coming out from Sharp there. You could see Don trying to go for the save, and he 100% would have saved that. But Sharp taking the proactive approach and just dealing with his opposition as quickly as he can is going to land him the first goal. Yeah,
it was great awareness there from Sharp dealing with it. And now LSU have the ball again, up 1-0. Washington, they're playing unconfident again, and they need to start to turn this one around if they want to win.
Yeah, and oh my goodness.
That'll do it.
Well, I don't even think that was a Washington player. I think that was an accidental redirect by one of the LSU players.
Donkey Mojito.
Oh, no. Okay.
It in. No, just a nice little shot. Some bad defensive play from LSU, putting their player out of position in the corner.
For some reason there, the camera made it look like Sharp actually touched it, but evidently I'm very much so in the wrong.
I mean, with the ease with which that went in, I'm surprised it wasn't an own goal. Coming out, Donkey Mojito sent to his teammate!
Oh my goodness!
And all of a sudden, Washington take a lead!
Washington now, out of nowhere, explosive plays. This is what I'm talking about, these redirects.
And all of a sudden, the wind is back in their sails, and this LSU defense is, I don't want to say simplistic, but the rotations aren't quite there when they're playing on the back foot. They're playing very much one man in goal, and 2 people chasing ball, and Donkey Mojito's up for another threat. Teammates, though, trying to just buy his team some sort of reprieve now. B900 just plays the ball back into the corner. Their momentum's not over yet. He's got it on the wall. He should gain control of his car now as the ball getting set up for the center. B900 looking for the cross. It's up, it's in! James not quite there for the reset. T-Base should get the clear here.
Now, once again, I mean, this is it, right? This is a Washington State that are starting to fire on all cylinders. The fakeaway is attempted to by Reverb there, but James gets the read.
And I can't stress just how much a third goal would be huge here for Washington. Getting a 2-goal lead in the series against LSU would be the boost that they needed, that safety net that they need to play as confidently as they want. James is gonna hold on to their lead for now. Playing it in the back half. Should bounce off the ball here. T-Base setting it up. Gets a little bit of bump that's gonna slow him down. Allows B900 to touch that ball, but it'll be played back into the Washington half, and another save out of Donkey Mojito, consistent as ever.
Yeah, the pressure coming up from LSU here. We need to see Washington State taking the clears and finding those big plays like they did for those first 2 consecutive goals. Now, Reverb has the ball. The demolition comes out by B900 call onto Reverb. Big clears are coming out. Sharp challenges it. T-Bates is going to get the clear. This is a good opportunity for LSU. Once James here does get it stolen away by Sharp. Sharp with the good reads. This is a chance. He's going to find it.
And LSU back in the proverbial driver's seat, evening it up 2-2 now, taking it out on Washington. I feel like I'm not seeing Washington. It's so off and on with them, it feels.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, it is definitely 100% a little bit. They seem to turn on the heat and then kind of cool down and then come back onto it. So hopefully coming into this once again, we should see them starting to rev up those engines, because they definitely are a team that has these shining moments and then they just seem to fall apart.
Yeah, I feel like neither of these teams have been particularly defensive-minded. Washington just kind of have had to be today, given the teams they played against. That's how they've had to adapt. But neither of them look like they're really comfortable playing on the back foot.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? Both of these teams feel very momentum-based, right? It's kind of coming onto the psychological aspect of the game. Is it does come down sometimes when you do get a goal, you start playing more aggressively because you've got that lead. You're trying to just continue to just dominate your opponent and continue to get a further and further lead. Reverb here with some fancy footwork over to Sharp. Donkey Mojito is going to be able to get the clear, though.
They had the 2v1, didn't quite take advantage of it, as they mucked each other up in the air. B900 now with an opportunity. T-Bates just going to take it back into the Washington half. 1v2 again. T-Bates sets up the air dribble. Doesn't get blocked, and it goes right on in.
Again, I mean, there we go, right? Putting in the work by LSU. T-Bates with the good read, good shot there. Just kind of flew it in, playing defensively, staying by it, not overcommitting. It really worked out for him.
Yeah, high speed just taking it over, and it's one touch that makes a difference. They're playing it around the Washington side. But now Washington down 1 goal, need to make it up. The ball's in the center field. There's an opportunity, but T-Bates smartly doesn't go up and is there to block the shot.
And now, right, coming back here. This is the opportunity that we could see coming out from Washington State, right? Because they're going to get the touch there. T-Bates is going to be able to get, or be able to save the ball. B900 cool, though, with the pressure, does get it quite nicely. James trying to get it sharp, contesting it, challenging it, does successfully win. Now to T-Bates. T-Bates looking to just run it down again. B900 cool on top of him, not letting it happen. Reverb and B900 are going to duke it out with B900 here, managing to slow him down just enough for James to get the rotation.
Yeah, and it looks like LSU are honestly just playing to touch the ball, and touch the ball he will, straight out of the air. Goes into the lower left corner, and a missed save out of Washington State. Seemingly what the issue was there. Ryan James looked like he had this one, just barely messes up the flip a little bit too far forwards. He isn't able to turn his car in time.
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, right? That was one of those moments where now LSU are going to be able to pull ahead. This is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have touched on it, but this is match point for them. So if they continue this lead in the next minute, we'll be seeing a 3-0 series.
And I could see LSU going up 1 more goal in this game if Washington doesn't start right now. We mentioned it in the first game, but it's 30 seconds a goal now that Washington need. It doesn't look like they're quite getting the offense that they want.
No, it's really starting to fall apart for them, and I think it might be the pressure coming to them just a little bit.
Of course, when you're sitting across the room from a team like LSU, you can't help but be a little bit intimidated, but not James. He sets himself up. He could have a doink here to put it in. Not quite. The ball get played back out towards the Washington side, regaining some semblance of control, but T-Bates is there for the rebound. James makes a save and is back in the LSU half.
Yeah, now, once again, James here with an opportunity, but cleared away by Sharp. I mean, this is the thing, right? LSU have been now so defensively minded because they know their 2 goes up. They know that all they need to do is take these really safe breakouts and clear the ball whenever they can.
Yeah, all you have to do is touch it, screw up the ball control that Washington State have. The ball's towards the center, could go in here with teammates. Wisely clears it out wide and secures the game for LSU.
LSU taking the victory 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's one of those things where Washington State was so close to greatness.
So close, but not enough. Again, falling short against Illinois and falling short again against LSU. But congratulations again to LSU, their second win of the game. They stay undefeated in games, holding on to their record. But up next for you guys, we will have Florida State University versus Illinois in just a bit.
Yeah, and I am very much so looking forward to this game. I know you are as well. And we should see probably a slightly bit closer of a game I'm hoping for overall. But we will once again be cutting to that quick break, and we'll be right back with more action shortly.